on this computer. Okay, so for those that are here live and those that'll get this session as the recording, welcome to week 2 of our online sessions, and thank you for participating and adding your very unique and beautiful frequency to this gathering. And just know that there's sort of an umbrella effect of anyone that's ever going to listen to any of this sort of stuff in the future, or to the recording or whatever. Their energies actually are present even though they're physically not present. So their energies are adding their particular keys and codes to what we're doing tonight. So yes, they're all part of the group energy. So I just want to begin today with a super quick update of the Solstice portal opening from last Saturday and the huge success we achieved by consciously working within that gateway. And so firstly, the event I held here and at the Stargate was a really big success as far as people coming along. And I was really honoured, you know, with a beautiful group of light workers, more than I expected, who participated physically in that event, plus all of you, obviously, that participated etherically in the event. And so, well, Solstice certainly was a time during which we did receive an outpouring of light from the heavens, and this did initiate a few ascension symptoms with it. Some of them would have started before, and you may be still experiencing some of those. So they're the common ones, like the restlessness, the night sweats, maybe waking up several times during the night, feeling tired, you know, being a member of the 3 a.m. club. So, you know, waking up in those early hours of the morning and then often staying awake. I've experienced all this myself. Periods of fatigue. Now, this is as our bodies are integrating those higher frequencies that came through. You might have also had some experiences of blurred or foggy vision, or seeing shimmering objects or glittery particles or flashes of light as the veils were thinning. The ringing in the ears, that's quite common, but you might have also noticed a second tone. White noise, which is like beeps or tones, or your ear going out of tone. I've heard some music, which there was no music coming from anywhere, and electronic patterns, sort of sounds. The usual mental fog, that's why we're upgrading. They tend to fog our human mind a little bit so that we can maybe get out of that human mind. If you're not used to the high frequencies, and even if you are, there's the itching of the skin, the prickling, the vibrating and tingling, or maybe stingy sort of feeling. And that's old energies getting pushed out through our skin as we're bringing in and starting to embody those higher frequencies. Energy rushes or sensations of heat or electricity circulating in the body, feeling the whole body vibrate, similar to sort of earthquake sensations, especially at night or in a relaxed state. Headaches, and I've had quite a few of those, or pressure in the skull. Heart palpitations are another common thing that some have reported, and like a fluttering feeling in the chest with the opening of the heart chakra and the clearings that have been taking place in the heart chakra. High heart flutters, which is the high center of chest flutters, are the opening of the high heart chakra. I didn't actually experience this myself, but I have had reports of people experiencing dizziness or losing balance a little bit. or maybe feeling like your body's swirling. And really that's just to name a few. Obviously you're going to have your own experience, and that's dependent on really where you're at and what frequencies are coming through for you, because we don't all receive the same, because we're not all here to do the same thing. So as I said earlier, the solstice was a time during which we received an inundation of light frequency codes from the great central sun. Light which at this point is new to us here on earth, because as they're upgrading, the new light that's coming in is new light, new light. So it's a new stream of light code sort of sequencing, and it's been streaming into the collective field of humanity for at least the past 2 weeks. And so, yes, the intensity has been increasing all this week as well, following the solstice. And this infusion of this galactic diamond light acts as a sort of illuminator of hidden motives and agendas. So the revealing source light is kind of flushing out into the open, the false light. And that is, well, any false light, or maybe negative thought forms or negative patterns that's not in alignment with these harmonics. And so you might have had some stuff like we mentioned last week. Just give me a sec. I think I forgot to unmute everybody. Well, I'm not sure how to do it. I can't see how to do it right now because I'm sort of a bit off my face. So can you please all make sure that you're muted? Just click mute. I think it might be Paul. I think it might be you. Anyway, as we ascend into, so we're revealing source light is flushing out into the open any of this false light that's not in alignment with the harmonics that have come through, and they're new harmonics and very powerful. As we ascend into 0 point, all discordant frequencies begin to erode, and that erosion sometimes takes the guise of a little bit of trauma. You might be feeling tension in your body, or you might be feeling some anxiety. And these are just, to make us become aware of blockages that are still within our fields. And so, so as we move into these 0 point gateways, all these discordant frequencies begin to erode. So what no longer harmonizes with, our universal oneness will begin to perish. And I feel very strongly that we're approaching a tipping point in human consciousness as we, spiral ourselves higher and higher with these frequencies. As we individually and collectively continue to awaken, the universe is sending us these higher vibrations and frequencies really to assist us and the earth in all our ascension process. So the more we awaken and grow in our consciousness, the more new and higher light we're able to receive. And so during the solstice, we received the wisdom of the light from the cosmos and from within. And this solstice, the portal opened directly, as we spoke about last week, to the great central sun. And as we are linked into this really powerful stargate, we move into yet another expansion of self as light. So in that, we're embodying another higher level of ourselves, and allowing ourselves to hold more light. So during the solstice portal, we were participating with, you know, all the other light workers, all of you guys, whether you were there physically or not, around the globe. It was a global connection of light workers, as well as our off-planet star families. And it was with the intent to take back and reinstate the goddess grid line, which is in the northern hemisphere of Earth. And I'm very happy to announce that this was achieved. It had been taken over and had been disconnected, I guess, from us being able to access this goddess grid line, but also it was being used by beings that don't have our best interest at heart. And so, you know, you all have been feeling after that moment an influx of these new energies. And it's not just an influx from source, it's actually the influx of the energy grid line, the goddess grid line that's been reactivated and reinstated and that we can now re-access. And so you probably noticed a shift and an upgrade both within your own energy fields as the bridges and within the collective consciousness on the planet. So well done and big congratulations to all of you. So I just want you to take a deep breath. Drop into your heart and just give yourselves a big hug and acknowledge and send yourself congratulations, send yourself gratitude, and just offer yourself some love and appreciation. Yes. And so for most of you, you will have been feeling the many waves of energy, which are actually DNA activation keys and codes that accompany the Solstice Gateway and have been coming in and are still coming in. The rising up of consciousness, the rising up of light workers, the awakening of many other light workers that were still asleep. Many of you have probably been seeing things presenting in the skies, a change in the sun and the rainbow frequencies that are emanating from the sun, maybe glyphs and other phenomena appearing in the skies. And this is as the veils continue to thin. And some of you, and I know I've had this conversation with a few people since the solstice, may have even been able to see the many cloaked ships that are being seen by a lot of people around the world now. And of course, the increase in volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, the largest being in Indonesia not very long ago, and the rising of the Schumann resonance. And it's now, at the moment, at a consistently high rate. It just doesn't seem to be dropping back down, which is a good thing. And it would appear that we've, you know, given all these signs, we have reached critical mass. And what this means for us is that through our brave efforts, the sleeping masses may now be able to receive these crystalline energies as they have now been integrated through us into the collective fields, through you and all the other conscious light workers. So, yeah, another big congratulations. And so what I'm feeling is a sort of restless vibration among humanity in general, because obviously the ones that are asleep don't understand what's going on. And I'm feeling that sort of restlessness in the fifth dimensional matrix, which is around the earth. And this is happening as we shake loose and sort of break free from the old and begin to more fully integrate the ever higher, ever new energy waves. And this is instigating a lifting of the spirit and a breakthrough, sort of a breaking through point for many of you. A release point from the the 3D matrix, so to speak, as we sort of merge more fully into these higher dimensions and into even higher aspects of self. And this is occurring for many people on the planet. And we've got, you know, the sun and the earth and the moon slowly aligning for next week's total solar eclipse, which is going to be a big one. And there's yet still no respite for any of us that are consciously contributing and holding these frequencies. We're sort of going from one gateway to the next gateway to the next gateway to the next gateway. So you're probably going to find yourself quite exhausted. I'm feeling quite exhausted. And so the total solar eclipse will occur next Wednesday, which is the 3rd of July. And the Sydney time is around about 2:55 a.m. Unfortunately, it won't be visible for us here, but we will definitely be able to feel and work with the energies of this eclipse. And this will be our focus for our group next week. And then we've got another eclipse on the 17th, which we will be able to see here, and that's a partial lunar eclipse. And that's going to occur Wednesday, July 17th at about 4:43 a.m. So that'll be an early morning rising that morning if you want to have a little look at that. And so now quickly, because it's come up with some of you this week, I just want to touch on our higher dimensional selves. And I know most of you already have a knowing of this. However, I would like to simplify things a little for those that are still struggling a little with what's happening here at this time with our embodying our higher dimensional, higher selves. And so unknown to the conscious part of yourself, you're involved in a very big game, the game of life. And the purpose of this game to express all of yourself in a balanced way and to experience without judgment all that life has to offer. And somewhere along the way, you made a conscious choice to veil your true identity from yourself so that you can fully experience life and all the subtleties from the perspective of not knowing, of forgetting, of not having that remembrance. Yet you don't recall making that choice. We don't recall that. And the direct result of this was that you became a fragment of yourself. So only a fragment of yourself became available when you were born. And that the part of you that you know as yourself, your personality self, is just a tiny fraction of the whole of yourself. And to begin with, you know, we're aware of our physical bodies. Most people sort of get hung up with the physical and the 7 chakras within this body, that they're not aware that this just forms one single aspect or entity within a much, much vaster whole. And we feel this vaster whole when we become fully expanded, when we're doing our journeys. But until we reach a certain level of awakening, we only have access to the 3 lower bodies, which is our mental body, our emotional body, and obviously our physical body. And then for some that are born with psychic gifts, our soul. And so at this point in time, we have 12 chakras, which, you know, they all need to be fully activated. And most of you would have had up to a certain level already activated. So in essence, there are really all up there are supposedly 352 chakras all in all. And the more evolved you become, the more of the energy fields get activated. At the moment, it is then essential that the 3 chakras above your head, which is your causal, soul and stellar gateway are all opened up, and we open and access these when we do our journeys. And that is so that you can access the higher dimensions. And with this, there is another chakra that's below your navel now, which is called the navel chakra, between your sacral and your solar plexus chakra, which also needs to be activated as well. And we have completed this in our journeys. And the most important other chakra at this time is our Earth Star chakra. And that's the one that's about 15 centimeters under your feet. And this anchors your soul work into Mother Earth. So it's our bridge. When we become that bridge for that energy, it anchors then that energy into the earth. Indeed, with your stellar gateway and soul chakras opened up, you need the Earth Star chakra open so that the energy flow is not blocked anywhere and doesn't bottleneck anywhere in our energy fields. And so all these higher dimensional chakras are in essence higher dimensional aspects of you. You can look at it that way, which as we raise our vibration up into these higher levels, we then begin to embody. And so what we are embodying are essentially our higher dimensional selves. And so to paint a picture, I want you to imagine the physical you as an orb or a ball of energy. And that's our physical conscious us. Now, for many on the planet, that is their only existence, sadly, because that's not what they've come here to do. However, that is really just, as I said before, a fragment. It's just a splinter of who and what we are. And so as we raise the vibration, and we do this by detoxing ourselves of the old negative patterns and connecting to higher frequencies, we bring in or are able to access or able to embody another higher aspect of ourselves or another fragmented part of ourselves. So now we have, as that comes in, imagine a second beautiful orb coming in down above the first one. And this ball of energy which comes and then begins to merge with the first ball until the two are now one larger ball. And with this merging and integrating, we have embodied a higher dimensional, fragmented aspect of ourselves. And then as we continue to raise our frequencies and move into up another level and up another level, another higher aspect integrates into our field. So we get another ball joining the first two, and then we have, and that becomes a larger ball of 3, and then a larger ball of 4, and so we expand. And as we expand, we're integrating and remerging all those higher level aspects of ourselves. And we, expand into a unified ball of energy. So they don't remain separate from us then as they've been up until this point. They unify and we expand and we expand and we expand. And so it continues. As we begin to expand our fields to accommodate more of our high dimensional selves, we begin to merge more and more aspects or fragments of ourselves, which allows us to then expand even further. And so we begin to embody more of our high dimensional selves, we become more whole. And at each level, we are moving closer and closer to being all that we are, which is Source. So one cannot just reach these higher states of consciousness without doing the inner work, and more importantly, the inner clearing work. Even on a daily basis, our energy centers can get clogged up because we absorb the toxins of negative and lower vibrations from all around us. You can absorb stuff while you're at the shopping center. You absorb stuff while you're on the phone. And, you absorb stuff by what you watch and what you read and what you think. And so the more conscious we become that we are pure walking energy and energy fields, the more we become aware that, we're so amazingly made and put together by a master brain, that we do not just exist in one single form, but we're a multi-dimension form. And so when all 12 bodies are fully integrated and activated, we're able to vibrate at such high frequency bands that our bodies are sheer light. And we can then do amazing stuff like bilocate, assemble and disassemble ourselves, and teleport. We're still a long way to go. We've still got a long way to go before most of humanity catches up to all of this. And certainly, although I can bilocate and I can also become virtually just light, I don't know that I can assemble and disassemble myself. Teleport, yes. So most find it difficult, to still their minds. We're all still very up in our heads too much of the time, never mind cleansing and purifying our own bodies and energy fields. It has to become a discipline. To move ahead, this purifying and cleansing is necessary. It's a necessary component and really can be quite simple if we just hold the right attitude. And that's why, it's important to do things like your daily clearing and alignment. And just by attending even weekly events like this one, you are allowing layers to be cleared away week after week after week. It's a slow process when you only consciously do it once a week, but it's still like polishing a diamond. And before you know it, as Margaret will tell you, you begin to be a clear enough vessel that you're able to embody higher and higher levels of your higher dimensional selves. And that is where the fun really begins. So yes, that's our little talk for today. I'm going to stop the recording now for that first session.